managing your reputation. Whatever your view of privacy and so forth, you should have a vested interest in your online reputation, and before you post that content, think about the digital footprint you are creating. Secondly, what do you do if something goes wrong? What do you do if your photographs are taken of you, you see them on Facebook or other sites, or you're tagged, or people put up comments about you that you feel are false or defamatory? In many instances, I'll tell you right from the start, there's not going to be a whole lot you can do. First, I recommend asking politely that the offending parties take the content down. The ISPs, the people who provide the tools, rarely will assist you because they're not going to get in the middle of disputes between individuals over whether content is defamatory or not. And unless you get a court order that you've been defamed, that content probably is not going to be taken down by the ISP, by the service providers such as Facebook or Google. So you can ask politely that it be taken down, and that kind of communication is one you don't want to threaten. I don't think you want to ask politely. I had a go around with somebody about some content that was posted, and of course I am a lawyer, which I did point out gently, but my initial salvo was an email, very non-threatening, saying that the content was not correct, and I thought it was misleading the person's readers, and that it should be taken down. And I ended up getting the person to take it down voluntarily without any kind of legal action or otherwise. Sometimes you get lucky and that happens. The other part of reputation management, for example, a bad review on Yelp or some service, something like that, one of the best tactics is to bury it, to get friends and so forth to post good reviews and drop it down off the first one or two search pages. And then, of course, if you're on a site, look at their terms and conditions and discover and find out by reading carefully what happens if you're going to delete your account or you want to get something taken down. And in some cases, for example, on Facebook, you can ask people who've posted photos or tagged photos to take the photo down themselves. You can also, if you feel like you're getting ready to apply to college or you're applying for an internship or a job once in college, and you see material in your timeline or on your Facebook site that you'd rather not have up there, that picture with you drinking a beer with the bongs, probably not a good idea if you want to have work in the future, then don't simply delete your account, but change your account. Delete the photographs, change the account, clean it up, and then wait several months so that backups and so forth that are cached will be your latest content and not the content immediately before you simply closed out your site. Let's go on and talk in this short version of my keynote on cyber safety and social media about a couple of more specific topics. Obviously, you have to be exceedingly careful, especially the younger you are, about giving out any kind of personal information or taking videos that you might post online which has revealing information in the background, such as a diploma or a photograph where the school name is apparent, things like that. So you should never trust who you're chatting with online. Hopefully you all know that. If not, it's an important conversation to have with your parents, your guardians, your family, your friends, about being exceedingly careful about not revealing personal details online because you never know who you're speaking with. Secondly, let's talk about cyberbullying. Unfortunately, there are many tragic examples every year. We have a couple of recently. Just this past October of 2012, a Canadian young woman was flashing or sexting with a friend. The photograph got out on the internet. She was ruthlessly cyberbullied about it and tragically took her own life after posting a final YouTube video about her depression and her experience of this awful bullying around this photograph that got out of her. There's a case in New Jersey where a roommate videotaped surreptitiously his roommate in some acts, and the roommate ended up committing suicide. So obviously there is no room for cyberbullying, and it is critical that you be a good digital citizen, not participate in this. You never know where it's going to lead, and it can be devastating to the people involved. There are many, many cases involving, for example, innocently posted videos on YouTube. The young boy who posted the Luke Skywalker saber battle, and initially it was funny, and then it was downloaded and reconfigured, and he became kind of the laughingstock of the world and went into severe depression and so forth. So very important to think about the ramification, the golden rule, how you would feel if something like that happened to you. Sexting is something we have to address and talk about. According to all the recent data from the Pew Center and others, still middle school, upper school, and college, in fact, adults are still engaging in a substantial amount of sexting. Why? I have no idea, because the moment that picture goes, the moment that image is out there, two things happen. It is, as my meme says, it is virtually searchable, traceable, and permanent. And secondly, we now know from some research out of a nonprofit in England that a tremendous number of these sexted images end up on porn sites online and are viewed by many, many people. With the advent and the sophistication of facial recognition software, it is just an area where you never want to go. There is no reason you should never be exposing any kind of your body online in any respect. Let's talk about basic security elements for 1 second. First of all, obviously, you should be employing appropriate antivirus software on your computers, and you should have secure passwords. They should be a combination of letters, numbers, symbols, something that you can remember. They should be changed on a regular basis. You should never share your passwords. This is something that's been going on in the middle school and high school set, we understand from research and reports, a terrible idea. Because the minute you share your password, then things can be posted to your Facebook account or your Google Plus or your YouTube, and it's not you, and goodness knows what might be posted. We should talk specifically here for a minute about checking the terms and conditions, the privacy settings, the dashboards of various sites. Go through your Facebook privacy settings and make sure your settings are tuned to your concept of privacy and your family's concept in terms of your settings. Same with Google+. Go to their dashboard, find out the kind of information they're collecting, and adjust your settings accordingly. Similarly with Tumblr and other sites. YouTube, make sure you've decided whether you're going to allow comments, all the basic standard settings. Go through theirs, make an intentional, advertent decision as to how you're going to share the content you post online. Finally, on other basic elements of cyber safety, it comes down also to, for example, debit cards. I would never use a debit card at a gas station. Use a charge card where fraud protections go in. You don't want to have somebody stealing that debit card have access to everything that's in your bank account. So this is a short form, a short version of my longer keynote on cyber safety and social media. If you remember nothing else, remember the meme, stop. Everything you post is searchable, traceable, oops, oh my God, it's permanent. Be a good digital citizen.